This is Douglas C. And this is Life Seeds. And thank you very much for joining me today. I just really want to have a discussion with you, uh, just from my own experience. And the topic I'm going to be discussing with you today is really about getting started. You know, sometimes in our lives, we have things that our spirit, the inner man in us, tells us just get going, and we get to struggle with it. We're looking for that perfect moment. We're looking for the right time when things gets, a little bit reasonable, quote unquote. And we always hang around and just keep thinking that maybe the right time will be tomorrow. And tomorrow, they say, never ends. There's always going to be another day, and there's going to be another struggle. There's going to be something to distract you and take your attention away that might come to you as very, very important, right? And you just keep putting that thing that God is putting in your heart, you just keep putting it farther away, somewhere that you're going to get to tomorrow. And tomorrow gets there, and there's another tomorrow, and you never get started. And this is what this has been for me. Um, this very live sessions that I'm going to be having with you. This is what it has been, and I just told myself, there's never going to be that perfect time. And I've had all of the tools that I need to get started for a very long time. It's not even a while. But I keep saying, this is not the right time. This is not the right time. In fact, this very moment is the worst time for me to start live streaming to you, really, with a lot going on in my own personal life. But if I don't do it now, there's going to be something else after I've dealt with this very one right now. And that is life. Without these topsy turviness of life, there's really nothing that would make life exciting to live. Life would be very boring, right? So the question becomes, how do you get started when God has put something in your heart? God has laid something in your heart. God has inspired you with something, or God has called you into something, right? How do you get started? So it is something that a lot of, if I'm struggling with it, and I think a lot of people are struggling with it, and I do believe there's somebody out there that is struggling with the same thing at all, as well, that is thinking, this is not the very right and the appropriate time for me to start going with whatever it is that I want to do. And it was yesterday, I was having a session with one of my proteges. And I was talking to him, I was encouraging him, and it came to a point, like I told him, get started, just do it. And I right away said to him, I'm talking to myself as well. I'm talking to you right now. I'm equally talking to myself. And I said, you know what? Today, I'm gonna start live streaming. I'm gonna start live streaming today. And that was yesterday. So I really pushed for it and everything. So at the time I got things ready, it was too late. So if I was going to really do it, I'm just essentially going to be talking to myself with everybody sleeping already. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to I actually called my protege, Khaled, and said, Khaled, you know what? Like I told you, I was gonna do it, but I'm not gonna do it tonight because it's too late and stuff like that. I'm gonna do it today, and that's where we are today. But and then the Spirit of God just more or less came in to just, what, make it a topic. It's not just going to be about you going live. Just make it a topic, and make it a topic of discussion for you, because if you've had that challenge, I'll use the word past hard now, for the fact that I think just getting started does something. It gets you over that hump, it gets you started, it gets the movement going, and that's how the momentum starts. And I use the word past there, I use the past tense there, because I believe uh, I've just gotten, I've just beaten that very hindrance of never getting started and waiting for the right moment. And this is the right moment. And I'm going to officially welcome you to Live Seeds Live. So today I'm going to discuss with you, how do you get over getting started, and I want to discuss seven things, seven elements that you need to get started with anything. And the first element of getting started is get started. You just got to get started. Because when you get started, you've started something, something started rolling. And it is through getting started that you develop momentum. If you don't start, nothing is going to move. And when you start moving, it's just the law of life. It just generates energy that moves it forward, that takes it to the next level. And it wasn't even coincidental. I was at church today, and what my pastor was equally talking about was very complimentary. It was just complimentary. And it is really important that if you want to do anything, you just get started. And getting started does not mean it's going to be the perfect time, because there's never going to be a perfect time. And sometimes we have the excuse and say, maybe I don't have the skills, maybe I don't have the talent, I don't have the equipment, or whatever it might be. The truth is, you don't have to get started perfect. You get started just the way you are, just the way wherever you are. You see, any journey, it doesn't matter how far that journey is going to be, it is just putting one step after the other that will get you started on the journey. And as time goes on, because you continue on that journey, you'll get to the destination. And that is what life is. You're going to get started to get started, because if you don't get started, nothing will ever be started. And the second element of getting started is to decide to get started. I don't know which one to put here before the other. To decide to get started or to get started. You have to decide. It is that decision. It's a common Tony Robbins quote that goes this way. It is the moment of decisions that change our lives. It is the moment you decide to change your life that your life changes. If you don't make that decision, you're going to give yourself excuse to not get started. You're going to give yourself excuse to why you're not the right person. You're going to give yourself the excuse to why you don't have the right accent, or the right skin color, or the right profession and understanding and know-how. The truth is, there is something in you that somebody needs to hear. There's something in you that somebody would benefit from. It could be your experience. It could be your mistakes. It could be your strength. It could be whatever. The truth is, God has given that to you as a gift. And God gave that to you as a gift, not for you, so that you can impact the world with it. That is why you are having it. So you're going to have to make that decision, that either you're going to hoard that gift, just like the parable of the talent, and when the master comes back, you say, I know you are a wicked master, so I went and hid your talent, and here it is. Or you're going to be that good and faithful servant and go multiply that talent by impacting lives, impacting circumstances, impacting situations and people with that. But for that to happen, you're going to have to decide. You're going to have to decide. And that is one thing that nobody is going to do for you. Nobody's going to decide to change your life. Nobody's going to decide to begin to do that which God has sown in your heart. So it is important that we make that decision. For anything to change in our lives, we're going to have to make the decision to change it. We're going to have to make the decision to get started with that. And as we go further, because that gift was given to you by God, God is going to equip you. He's going to give you everything that you need to succeed in that idea, in that gift that He has given to you. You never become a master at anything at the beginning. Every master, they say, was once a disaster, right? Nobody begins at the top. It's just the truth. You get to start from the bottom. You get to take the first step. You get to take the second step. And as time goes on, proficiency just obeys the rule of the universe. right? The more you do, the better you become. It doesn't mean you're going to be perfect, right? Practice doesn't make perfect. Just practice makes mastery. And practice comes from actually deciding and getting started and doing. Now, the third element to get started is to consider your why. You know, is to consider why you want to get started. You know, without a big enough why, you really wouldn't be motivated to get started. There has to be something that is bigger than you, right? There has to be something that is bigger than you. If you are going to be very self-centric about anything you do, you are actually becoming an obstacle for yourself. You become an obstacle for yourself. That's when you are aware of your flaws. That's when you are aware of your mistakes. That's when you are aware of your past. But when you shift the lens from you and you shift it to others, how they can benefit from it, you see, you forget about your own imperfections. You forget about your own pains. And healing comes from that. So there has to be a big enough why you are getting started in what you're doing. Is it a call that God has upon your life that you're running from? That call wasn't for you. That call was, it is for the world. It is for others, for the benefit of others. But you just have the privilege to be called. Do you have a gift that you can bless the world with, that you can bless your community with, right? It is not for you. It is for the world. You see, the difference between a lake and a river is one thing. The lake retains its water. After a while, it just starts thinking, right? Because it's self-centric, it's self-serving. But when you act as a river, as a stream, the water passes through and it's always fresh. New ones are always coming in, and you get to serve others with what you have. So there has to be a big enough why. Think about that. It could be your family that is your motivation. It could be your community that is your motivation. It could be that you hate the injustice that is going on around you, right? You have to think about that why. And it has to be beyond you. It has to be beyond your survival. It has to be beyond, you want to live in a big house, or you want to drive a big car, or you want to chill with the big boys. Whatever, it has to be beyond you. Otherwise, it's self-serving, and when it's self-serving, it's never fulfilling. I'm going to repeat that. When it's self-serving, it's never fulfilling. Joy comes into your life when you are doing everything you can to bring joy to others. Happiness comes into your life when you are doing what you can to foster happiness in the lives of others. So your why has to be bigger than you, and you have to think about that. So the fourth element about getting started is that you are the only one that has to do it. Nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody is going to do it for you, except whatever that is in your heart includes other people. But if it's involving you, you're going to still have to participate in that. You're going to be a part of that very journey. You're going to do your part, right? So nobody is going to do it for you. You can wait for the government all you want. There might be social systems in place, or business systems in place, and tools in place that would allow you to do what God has placed in your heart, or what you want to do, the dream you have, the vision you have. But nobody is going to do your part. Nobody is going to do it for you. You are going to be the one to do it. So you're going to have to do it. That is the old Nike slogan there. Just do it. So understand that nobody is going to do it for you. Know that if you don't do it, no one else is going to come take your place. You are going to be the one to do it. And the fifth element is going to be that you are going to have to be your number one fan. You're going to have to be your number one fan because you don't want, especially in the social media centric world that we are in today, we are so concerned about the vanity metrics of the day. You know that people don't like whatever you're putting out there, or they don't share it, or whatever. The truth is, when you become your own fan first, then people will join your fan club. You're going to have to be your number one fan. You're going to be the one that will cheerlead whatever it is you want to do first. Then others will join your fan club. You are going to have to be your number one fan. You don't have to say, "Oh, nobody's supporting me. Nobody's is telling me I'm doing a good job," or whatever it is that you might be clamoring for. But the truth is, love yourself first, be your own fan first, and then others will join your fan club. Don't wait for others to start your fan club before you join the fan club. So you're going to have to be your own fan first before others will join. Because if you don't start, you will not continue. And when you continue, others will join your fan club. The number 6 element here is that there's never going to be a perfect time. I think I've alluded to this, not really alluded. I think I've mentioned it. I've not. I think I mentioned this earlier. There's never going to be a perfect time to get started. Now is the time to get started. This moment is the time. Get started. Get going. I mean, just this conversation I'm having with you right now, that's just what it is. Just getting started. But I think 1 or 2 minutes into it, I got comfortable with it. Right? It's just how it is. Once you get started, the momentum starts and it just starts rolling. An object emotion just keeps being emotion. That's just life. That's the law of physics. So if you don't start, nobody's going to start it for you. The moment to start is right now. They said the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The next best time is today, now, not tomorrow, now, not tomorrow, because tomorrow will always be there. Now is the best time to get started because there's never going to be a perfect time to get started. And when you get started, understand one thing, and that is the last point I'm going to share with you today. That momentum becomes your friend. Momentum becomes your friend. Once you get started, somehow, things just start walking and just start rolling. Momentum becomes your friend. I don't know who this very message is for today. First and foremost, it is for me. And everything that I have just said here, I am a student of. But my hope is that the points that I've shared today inspires somebody to get started in whatever it is that you've been having in your heart, that God has placed in your heart. That the dreams you've had for many years that you've put on the wayside and maybe you've forgotten. I hope this is for you. I hope this inspires you. And I do believe that once you get started, you begin to see that all the time that has gone by, we're preparing you for this moment to start. Get started. Once you get started, then you will see the hand of God. Faith without works, the Bible says, is dead. We can wait on God all we want. Sometimes, and most times, God is just waiting on us to get started so that he can be God in the things that he has promised you, in the dreams that he's laid in your heart. Get started. Thank you for joining me this evening. This is just what it is, and I'm glad I've gotten started, and I hope that you have made a decision as well to get started. And I'm looking forward to seeing that which you are about to start.